Did you know that 90% of communication is nonverbal? Hi, I'm James Moore Jr., and I help business professionals who struggle with communication to feel more confident when they communicate. In this video, I'll be sharing with you some techniques that'll help you build rapport rapidly with clients and even colleagues. This is my guy right here. Look at him. He built that rapport. I don't know how them blocks is holding up, but he got it though. By the end of this video, you'll have practical strategies on how you can build some rapport successfully with anybody that you are trying to do business with. Let's begin. What is rapport? Rapport is like the invisible string that connects each other with one another. It's like being on the same wavelength. You know how when you walk into a room and you meet someone and you're like, yo, I really like I get them, I understand them. It's because you vibe with them. That's what rapport is. So I'm going to give you some practical tips on how you can build rapport real easy. Number one, it's called mirroring and matching. Mirroring and matching is whenever you are with someone and they are speaking, they usually do certain gestures. What you do is you do the exact same gestures, but you don't do it in a way that's very obvious. You do it very subtly. For example, like if I'm talking and you see me using my hands like this, then when you talk, you would use your hands like this. Also, like if I lean in, you can also lean in a little bit. So that way it draws them in as a connection. When you mirror and match somebody, it makes you more creditable. Makes you seem like you are like them. And it just makes them feel comfortable. These are all good things that you want whenever you're interacting with someone. Let's talk about the next thing. Another technique is called pacing and leading. Pacing and leading is when someone is speaking to you, you recognize their vocal tones as well as their vocal speeds. So when they are speaking, when you recognize it, you start off like they do. So I start off speaking kind of slow at times. So if you was to want to pace me, you would start off speaking slow around my same speed. When you do that, it makes me feel like you are like me. And then when it comes to the tone, you want to also follow their tone. So if they're excited about something, then you want to get excited too. So you follow their tone. When you follow their tone, it also gives them that familiarity feel. Now, when it comes to the leading part, once you have gotten to where you are following their speed and you're also following their tone, that's when you can bring it to a point where you add in your character. You lead them into your speaking speed and tone. And that is how pacing and leading works for anyone whenever you're trying to build rapport with them. Remember, you're just trying to get on that same wavelength. You're trying to vibe with them. And the best way to vibe with someone is to seem like you are like them. Because people like them. Remember that. Let's go on to the next one. Active listening is super important because for one, when you are listening attentively, you are giving eye contact. So that lets them know that you are engaged in whatever they are saying. You're also using their verbal and nonverbal cues. I'm sorry. You're using your own verbal and nonverbal cues, such as, so nonverbal cues would be like nodding your head. Verbal cues would be like saying, mm-hmm. This way, it lets them know that you are understanding certain points of your conversation. When you use these, it helps the speaker understand that you are engaged and that you are paying attention. Another good thing to do when you're listening to somebody is to reflect their feelings. When I say reflect their feelings, if this person is getting to a point in their story or their presentation or whatever, and they have a lull, you express that, you bring your body and your facial features down to their level. They get excited, you raise their eyebrows, show a little bigger smile, and look excited as well. This is how you reflect their feelings when they are speaking to you. It's another great way to add to that rapport that you are building. The next thing is common ground. Now, this one involves you speaking. So when you are trying to find common ground, if the speaker that you are listening to doesn't give you anything to work off of, then you could speak about certain things that you enjoy or that would basically give them something to feel like they have in common with you. So for me, like, I love music. I am a DJ. I love drum and bass. That's my jam. So if I was to mention that and then you were like, well, hey, I like EDM too. And so then I would be like, well, what kind of EDM do you like? And then we could talk about EDM for a second. That right there is how you build rapport. So here's what you could do to start to build common ground. You could ask open-ended questions. Now, when you ask these open-ended questions, you got to be authentic in your questioning. You want them to really know that I genuinely want to know an answer to this question. Another way you can also build some common ground is by telling stories. Related to their answers. One story that I would probably tell you is about how I even became a DJ. That's a story that is pretty fun. I actually believe I have it on this channel. But telling stories with an answer is a great way to also build some rapport. Let's talk about the last thing I have to help you with building rapport. Let's talk about some rapport building questions. Now, here's just a couple. I'll give you three. I'll give you three good questions to actually help you with building rapport. The first one is, what are you passionate about? That one is a really good question because that one gets people excited. When you ask people what they're passionate about, they're more than willing to open the floodgates of information about what they're passionate about. The hardest thing about asking this question is getting them to shut up. Because sometimes, man, people's passions can take them on a road that is long and full of information. Keep that in mind. Another good question is, what are your goals? Most business professionals have goals. So this one is also going to open up a lot of great knowledge for you to work with as far as building that rapport. And then the last one, what are your favorite things to do outside of work? This question right here can give you enough information and details about a person to actually get to know if you really want to work with them. Because sometimes the answers that people give could either benefit you or deter you. So pay close attention to this answer, because this one will definitely open your eyes to a lot of things about that person. Because you are one way when it comes to work and business, but you are yourself when it comes to being outside of work and business. So pay close attention to what is said on this question. Now let's talk about some ways that you can actually put this into practical applications. One way you can do this is do a little role playing. Find someone that you are very comfortable with and practice building rapport. Have them talk to you and ask them certain questions. And while they're doing that, remember to mirror some of their actions, pace and lead, find that common ground, and ask those rapport building questions. Role playing is excellent for getting familiar with those techniques. I remember I had a job interview for a cable company back in Wichita, Kansas. And the person who was interviewing me, I noticed they had some quirks that they would do when they were asking some of my questions, and then when I would answer them. I didn't realize it back then that I was building rapport by doing some of the techniques that I just told you. I was mirroring them whenever they would lean in, whenever they would lean back, and whenever they would kind of fidget with their fingers. I was doing this like automatically. And I was also pacing them with their speech. Luckily, he kind of spoke like me, so it wasn't really that hard. And then I started leading him into the way I spoke when I had my opportunity to speak. I did notice that he did pick up his speech pattern a little faster when I started to speak a little faster, when I got excited about what I was talking about. When it came to the end of the interview where he asked me, did I have any questions? I actually asked some rapport building questions. I believe one of the questions was, so where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with this company? He wasn't expecting that. He was like, well, since you put it that way, I'm actually trying to go into a whole new realm of management. And so I was like, oh, really? And what part of management are you trying to go into? I got him talking. And as I got him talking, I got him thinking. And once you get someone into their own section, their own mind about what they truly want, it helps to build that rapport, because I was really interested in what he had to say. So I built all kinds of rapport, which in turn got me the job. That is just one example of how you can build some rapport. That was just a job interview, but it worked. So I challenge you. I challenge you to build rapport with people on a daily basis. Once you get familiar with how to build rapport, it'll become automatic and it'll start opening doors to all kinds of opportunities. People will feel like you are like them. And that is the one thing you can always count on people. People like them. It's all over the place. It's in songs. Whenever you feel a familiarity with someone, it just feels good. So be familiar. Be familia, eh? I know you can do it. I believe in you. I want you to succeed in whatever it is you choose to do. This is why I make these videos, because I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do these things, or they don't even know about them. And so I'm glad that you're here. You're learning this because you want to be a better person, a better business person, and have better business relationships. And you can do it by building rapport. Thank you again for being a part of my channel. Again, my name is James Moore Jr. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this with somebody else who needs to know how to build rapport so we can get them on the same wavelength as us. Thank you for your time. Peace.